Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show. Glad you guys are with us today. We are ready to get things rocking and rolling. It's Arch City now. Vic Faust here. Producer Rye alongside as well. 6:05 is the time. If you guys want to jump into the show this morning, do so. We're here all the time doing that. You guys are here for Arch City now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. and all the time. You can find us on X, Facebook, and YouTube. And of course, you can always jump in on the show as well. Let us know your thoughts. All things St. Louis all the time as we get things going. January 8th, we're here for you. Also, guys, there's a lot going on last night. We're going to get into that. We have a guest today as well. So you guys, hey, Ryan, I was just messing with you a little bit, giving you some updates, texting there. The other thing that we have going on is the fact that we've got the Blues in action last night. You have the Mizzou Tiger basketball team in action last night. You had the SLU basketball team in action last night. There's college football tonight. The college football portal is way out of control. And it's all of it is just freaking crazy amazing. There was a flashlight boom seen over the St. Louis area last night as well. And we're going to have to there is a lot that's going on from that standpoint. So we got things going on. You know what we do here? We do the radio, we do the podcast. You'll hear me talk with Rye as he sets our shot up this morning on a Thursday morning. And we do the best that we can from that standpoint. It blows my mind. One day you can have nothing going on, and then the next day you have a ton. Miami, Ole Miss in the college football playoff tonight. Excited about that. And the unfortunate thing about all of this stuff that we had was the Blues last night, because that was downright ugly. Downright ugly. What happened last night? It was one of those things where, you're into the second period. The Blues are in a 2-2 game. The Blackhawks take a lead of 3-2, and then it's 4-2, and then it's 5-2, and then it's 6-2, and then it's 7-2, and then you're like, what the heck is going on? So, Spencer Knight, as we look at some of those from a goalie standpoint, it said had gave up 3 goals, had 27 saves. But it was also interesting. Wait a second. Oh, no, excuse me. That was the Blackhawks side of things. But it was a game. You cannot lose. You cannot just go lose 7-3 to Chicago, a team that you're competing with. It can't happen. It can't happen. It can't happen. It did happen. And, I was saying Spencer Knight's he's a very good goalie. The Bennington issue is just a big one. I mean, 7 goals. It's like, what? 7 goals. So the first 2 periods were all right. And he was left out there. We'll get into that. There's a lot to get in from that standpoint with what's happening. You got some interesting weather going on again today. Warmer temperatures. How about Travis Kelce? He still hasn't decided whether he's going to come back next year or not. We'll have to wait and see. We got a little update about McDonald's in regards to what you got there. Principia High School basketball. We haven't talked about them a lot. They are getting national attention, ranked as a national team, beating other high school nationally ranked teams. Now, I know when it comes to high school, it's hard to rank nationally who's that, but you kind of have an idea at these national tournaments of who's really good and who's not. You may miss one, and there may be somebody in there that shouldn't be, but as a collective whole, you get kind of an idea of who the best teams in America are, and Principia out of St. Louis is right there. And it's a lot of fun to see some of those things that are going on. Talk about the college football schedule tonight. Miami, Ole Miss, a 6:30 game too. Miami, by the way, is a 3.5 point favorite in that game, which will be interesting to see what happens from that standpoint, because you have two very good teams going at it, getting ready to. Is it will what kind of an object in the sky? Um, trying to figure all of that out right now. Certainly interesting as people. Did you see it? I didn't. I did not see it last night. But there were viewers who captured it. We'll try to show you that video later. From Fenton, Clayton, even in the Illinois area, like even in the Dupo area. Starlink satellites can appear in the sky, but I don't know if this had anything to do with the string of lights. But that was there. It's unknown at this time if it was a satellite launch planned or something else. But certainly interesting, that's for sure. So, lots to get to today, lots to talk about. Appreciate you guys being with us. It's bright and early as we join you every Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Okay. I guess I was trying to figure out where to start with this morning with everything that's going on. The positives, the negatives. I guess we'll start right out of the gate from a standpoint with Missouri basketball last night, because they were 13.5 point underdogs. Missouri was. And they went to Rupp Arena to play or to battle Kentucky. And I thought this was interesting because 13.5 point underdog, they win. They win at Rupp Arena for the first time ever, had never won at Kentucky. Final score was 73-68. And we were waiting. Missouri's now 2-0 in the SEC. And they went on the road and got this win. Mark Mitchell and Jaden Stone combined for 41 points. They went on a 15-2 run to end the game. And Missouri's now 12-3 overall, and they're 2-0 in the SEC conference. Kentucky, by the way, falls to 0-2 in the SEC. They're 9-6 overall. And allegedly, they have a roster of about $20 million in the age of NIL. That's not going to cut it in Kentucky, but we could care less about Kentucky right now. This Missouri team was left literally for dead, sports term, after getting drubbed by Illinois by 43 points. Granted, Missouri got 2 players back, Pierce and Stone, and now they look like a different team. They're playing with energy and effort and enthusiasm. Mitchell, by the way, had 21 points last night. Stone had 20. They were 13 of 25 shooting. I mean, and they actually hit their free throws last night. It is amazing when you hit your free throws. Going into last night's game, Missouri was dead last, the worst free throw shooting team in the SEC. They made their free throws last night, and what do you know? They ended up winning the game. So now Missouri plays at Ole Miss on Saturday, where they may be favored. I looked at that line yesterday, and I went, "You've got to be." How could Missouri, coming off a win against Florida, a ranked team, be a 13.5-point underdog at Kentucky? I mean, it was like, do they know? Does Vegas wouldn't be this wrong, would they? They have to know something, right? No, they were that wrong. I mean, I don't know how that game got put. Whoever put the line on that game may not have a job today. They may have been fired less. If people are like, are you kidding me? Missouri, 13.5 points. But the Tigers get it done. And dare I say it, they go to Ole Miss this Saturday, where I think they'll be a favorite, and they win. You're talking about a Missouri team that would be 13-3, 13-3, and 3-0 in the conference. And on the cusp, I'm not kidding you, and being on the cusp of being a top 25 team, and definitely back in postseason tournament talk. It is crazy what's going on. Now, I know the SEC isn't a special team or a special conference this year, not like last year, not even close. Not even close. However, they're still a good conference. They are still a good conference, and we are still a fan base that are like, okay, let's see where this is going to go. Because I don't know. It just, I don't know. The whole thing is just bizarre to me. This team did not look good at all. They did not look like they were going to be a team that could battle or do work this year. And then all of a sudden, here comes Missouri. Dennis Gates looks like he is a terrific coach again. And all is well. Winning, like we said, winning cures all. And or at least it did last night. So I was like, okay, this is fun to watch. And we were glad to see it. So anyway, if you guys have questions from that standpoint, we can talk more about that. But that was a huge victory for Missouri last night. And it was one of those things where you're like, okay, is this the Missouri basketball team that we're going to see the rest of the year? Because they're deep and they seem to be playing pretty well, pretty well. And the other thing is, I just I look at the rest of that schedule for Missouri, and if they do make the tournament, you're talking about a team that is outstanding when it comes to over energy, over effort, and so forth. So anyway, what we're going to do is we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We got to get into the Billikens, the Blues with more drama last night, and Jordan Bennington. Just a very interesting thing that's going on there as well. We'll get into the college football tonight. Is Travis Kelce going to retire? Is he coming back? The U.S. Figure Skating Championships in St. Louis. So much to get to. We'll do it. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this. Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, producer Rise alongside as well. Glad you guys are with us today. If you guys have story ideas, let us know. We're all things St. Louis all the time. Waking up St. Louis Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m., and all kinds of other national stories that might be moving the needle here throughout the area. News, sports, you name it. We're bringing it to you from that standpoint. Okay, last night, lots of actions we were talking about. The Blues were in action. The Mizzou basketball team was in action. SLU basketball was in action. We've got the college football playoff tonight with Ole Miss and Miami going at it. We've got the U.S. figure skating championships going on in town. We have Colin Ledbetter, who has a brand new podcast on first responders coming up at 7:30. He'll be live in the studio as well. So, like I said, we have everything going on. Anything else, jump in. Let us know. We appreciate you guys being with us. That's for sure from that standpoint. Okay. We talked about Mizzou basketball, SLU basketball last night. Also, so Mizzou goes to Rupp Arena and wins for the first time ever. They're rolling. How about St. Louis U basketball? Kellen Thames scores 18 last night off the bench, and SLU beats VCU at VCU 71-62. And guess what? It was the first time that they'd ever won at Virginia Commonwealth. The Billikens are now 14-1. They're 2-0 in the Atlantic 10 Conference. I'm not sure how good the Atlantic 10 is, and we already know that SLU's schedule is very weak. However, they're winning the games. The best team they played was Stanford, and they lost by a point. They should have won. Anyway, long story short, they did what they had to do. But you start to look at SLU now. I mean, they had an 11-0 run in the first half. They were up 30-19. They looked really good down the stretch. So now you have a SLU basketball team, 14-1 and 2-0 in that conference. VCU was one of the top teams in the conference, as we know. Dayton also going to be very, very good. So you got to continue to win. That's exactly what SLU did last night. So congrats to the Billikens. Just fun to watch. It's so much better to have a basketball team in Mizzou that's actually looking to be a quality team. And then you have SLU that's looking to be pretty good. And we had no idea what Mizzou was going to be. And now you got SLU taking care of business, which is great. And we start to see that coming down the stretch. So nice from a basketball standpoint. Also, while we're on basketball, if you hadn't heard yet, Principia has a pretty darn good high school boys basketball team. I mean, they were 31-1 last year, won a state championship, and they're getting better. They're 10-1 this season. They play national competition. They're in the national spotlight. They have an incredible team. They've got nationally ranked players, and they're playing nationally ranked teams, and they're winning. They're literally freaking winning. And according to Max Preps, which does a phenomenal job covering high school sports, Principia is the second best high school basketball team in the country. They've got them ranked second right now. They played in the City of Palms Classic in Florida, where they beat the previously number one school, Wheeler High School. That's how big of a deal this has become. It's a big, big deal. They say that so far they have performed at a high level and their name's out there. But when your name's out there, that means the target gets a whole lot bigger. Yeah, that according to the coach, that's what happens. So this weekend, they'll be featured in the Highland Shootout, where they're going to play East St. Louis. That's going to be a very good game. Battle some small school St. Louis versus, the best that Metro East has to offer in East St. Louis. So you're talking about a team that's ranked second right now in America over Principia out of the St. Louis area. So congrats to Principia. That's a really freaking big deal to see them do everything that they have done so far from that standpoint. So love it. Gotta love it. Principia getting the job done. And, we will see. We will see. Okay. We are Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Jump in on the show. Let us know what's going on. What's moving the needle for you guys? The weather today is going to be in the 60s again. Maybe some storms, warmer weather, maybe some storms. We're going to get a warm start, push back into the mid 60s today. Maybe get some rain, some additional thunderstorms into the evening time. Talking about could be producing some strong wind gusts, some small hail. But the severe weather threat is considered low, which is good. Then it's going to cool off a little bit for tomorrow as we get back into, some of the action that you have going on. We'll see where it goes from the weather, but what a week of weather we have had so far this week. And yesterday was another gorgeous day, just like we had the last couple of days. So gotta love it. Enjoying that. That's for sure. Okay. One of the topics, the good news was Mizzou basketball and SLU basketball. We were talking about that. The bad is the Blues. This team is up and down, all in round. And I think we know who the Blues are. They're an inconsistent team. They're a flawed team. They're not a super talented team. They have a goalie issue. And I'm starting to wonder, when do we actually start to question a coach? I'm just asking. I'm just asking the question. Is it the players that have been assembled, or is it the coach? Yeah, there's situations where it can be a combo of both, but which? Because to this point in time, unless I'm wrong, have we really seen any sort of a light be shined on Montgomery? Because when the season began, I brought this up, and not to continue to talk about it, I didn't understand all the hype with the Blues. And I asked publicly, why are we I think we're putting way too much pressure on this team. I don't see them being the team that most of St. Louis is. I almost felt like we were stretching, reaching, because the Cardinals had such a bad season again, and St. Louis City SC wasn't good, and we just didn't have anything here except Mizzou football. So here we are. The Blues with an opportunity to go 500 last night, and they lose again to the Blackhawks, division rival, a team that was below them, a team that, if you look at their team and their trajectory, it looks much better than it does for the Blues. 17, 19, and 8 is the Blues record right now. The Blackhawks are a point above them. The Blackhawks have played one less game, and nobody expected the Blackhawks to be much. So now you have a team, and it's not only that they lost last night in Chicago, it's the first of a 3-game road trip. And the other thing is the fact that you're talking about a team, because of their goalie situation, I'll say it, somebody else may not say it, they're in disarray. Could things change in a heartbeat? Sure, they could change. But when you have a situation right now where Jordan Bennington got the start, and he gave up 5 goals through 2 periods. The Blackhawks won their 4th straight game. You just don't see a lot of, I know the Blues are coming off of 2 wins at home, and this is our team going right now. We want to love them. We want to be all excited. But, man, they gave up 4, and it wasn't all Jordan Bennington's fault. I mean, Chicago went 3 for 4 on the power play. You can't take the penalties, and when you do, you got to kill them off. They gave up 3 goals on the power play. St. Louis was 0 for 5 with the man advantage. I mean, you give up 3 goals on the power play, you can't score on the power play, you're going to have issues. And that's where they are right now. So, they get a day off, and then they get back at it. But the problem with that is the fact that, they've got the games coming up. We talk about that. So the Blues, they fall back even more in the standings. And I know you go on a 3-4 game win streak in this very average NHL outside of the top teams. You're back in it. But now they have a game tomorrow night, Utah. That's not going to be easy. And then it certainly doesn't get any easier Saturday night when they played Vegas. So you've got two more very tough games. And if that wasn't enough, we have a situation right now as well where you had Jordan Bennington last night after he gave up the 7th goal. So he gave up the 7th goal last night. And this is what I'm going to be interested to see what happens. Because the Blackhawks scored their 7th goal, and Jim Montgomery tried to pull Jordan Bennington off the ice for Joel Hofer. And Joel Hofer was getting ready. He was down in the tunnel. And a Bennington refused, it appeared at least that Bennington refused to come off the ice. And then Hofer was hiding down the tunnel in the Blues locker room. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? Actually, what the hell's going on? This should not be happening. This is drama. I've been saying it for months. Something doesn't add up with the Bennington situation. I know every now and then he'll have a good game. There were rumors about him being traded. Don't think for a second he doesn't take that personal. Overall, he hasn't been that great. The defense in front of him hasn't been that great, but Hofer's been better. And I know there are situations, there are people who think that there may not be drama. This is a problem. And don't think for a second the other players aren't immune to this going on. There are allegiances and friendships and things of that nature as well. You're supposed to be professionals. It was just really, really a bad look. Just a bad look overall of everything that was going on. So I don't know where they go from here. I know where they're going. I mean, they're going to play Utah tomorrow night, and then the very next night, Vegas. But when your head coach is waving, literally waving to Jordan Bennington, come on, I'm taking you off, and he's refusing to come, yeah, that's an issue. So you've got a very average to below average hockey team with a record of 17, 19, and 8. You're over halfway through your season. I don't know what you stand on, who this team is. They don't really have strengths. Am I out of touch here? I don't believe so. And then you look at Monty. So it's the end of a game. There's 5 minutes left in a game, about 5 minutes. Does it really do good to pull Jordan Bennington? Or does it just embarrass the goalie further when there's 5 minutes left and you're down 7-3? Certainly, Monty's not trying to embarrass Bennington. Maybe he didn't want him to have to give up any more goals. But Bennington said, I'm not coming out. And he didn't. And you did not have Hofer standing there at the bench either. So it's like, uh-oh. What are they going to do? This is a problem for the Blues. Now, could they win their next 2 games on the road? Certainly they could. But all of it doesn't look good. It just doesn't. Doesn't. And of course, we were just talking about what's happening when it comes to this team, what happens with this league. They're not out of anything. It's just, you can already see there's problems. This team, as it is not going to all of a sudden make some run. They've shown us zero opportunity of that happening. So Yeah. So right now at 17, 19, and 8, they still can't get back to that 500 mark. They're the second. I mean, and it's so tight. I mean, the Blues have 42 points. Utah, who's fourth in the division, has 45 points, So, and we talk about the two wild cards. There's going to be two wild card playoff positions. Right now, the highest wild card position is 47 points and 46 points. There's like 7 teams now besides the Blues that are between 42 points and 47 points. But you got to have something that makes sense, something to stand on, something to believe in. And now what you have is controversy. And even if Bennington didn't want to come off the ice, he's showing up the coach. And some people may think that the coach was showing him up by trying to pull him off with 7 goals given up and 5 minutes left in the game. But it's not good. And we'll see where it all goes. We'll see who's going to be lining up with who. And I'm assuming Hofer will be in net tomorrow night. And, at some point in time, they've got to figure something out. They've got to figure something out about what they're going to be able to do with this entire situation. I mean, you had the head coach last night literally looking at his assistant coaches like, what the hell? Why won't he come off the ice? Where's Hofer? And why was Hofer hiding down the tunnel? I mean, just freaking bizarre. And it became a talk about story on the broadcast because it was a TNT broadcast last night. So you had the full crew, just like the ESPN Game Day, talking about Bennington and the backup goalie and getting pulled from a game. And yeah, I mean, and in the midst of all of this that's going on, Jordan Bennington is the Team Canada goalie, or at least one of them, as they get set for the Olympics, which are going to be here in under a month. And we all know how important and how huge the hockey aspect is going to be and supposed to be. That is very interesting. But then again, of course, we know Bennington. I mean, big game Bennington. You put him in. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see him go play for Team Canada and shut everybody out and win a gold medal. And do I look worried? I mean, that's so Jordan Bennington. I'm just bummed out, man, because we've got issues, we've got drama, and we don't have a very good hockey team right now. And those guys, they're class guys. They would tell you they're not good. They're not good right now. They're not. And a 17, 19, and 8 record in a very, very average NHL right now is not a good team. They're not. Thank God the rest of the league is very, very, or at least most of the league is that way. I mean, so tomorrow night, they'll be at Utah. I mean, Utah is just 21-20. They have 45 points. The Blues have 42. I mean, that's not horrible. But on the other hand, then they play Vegas Saturday. That's more of a problem. Vegas is 18-11 with 48 points. So everybody goes to their ups and their downs. But my gosh, right now, it is not a good thing, not a good sign for what we're starting to see in St. Louis. So we'll see if there's any more drama that comes out, anything that comes out from the standpoint with the Blues and the head coach and all of those things that we started to see. So anyway, the NFL has got the playoffs, first weekend of the playoffs coming up this week. Yesterday, Travis Kelce, by the way, said that he may return to the Chiefs for another season on some certain conditions. He didn't really say whether he's coming back or not. But after his podcast, it was just a lot more confusion. He says, quote, "It's a tough way to go out, how the season ended, how his personal season was, especially with the amount of success and the standard that you hold for yourself and the team, going into the season and out of the season." This is what he was telling his brother yesterday. He's like, "I just appreciate everybody that was in the building and that was on the field the past 3 or 4 weeks when we knew we really didn't have much to play for other than the love of the game, the pride and the honor that comes with playing in the NFL. But I appreciate everyone that was out there giving their all, even though the Chiefs were losing. When it comes to his decision, he says he wants to be a regular human for a couple weeks, maybe longer. And he said during that break period, he's going to try to finalize a decision on when he's going to do with his football career. So now he needs more time. He says, quote, "I think if my body can heal up and rest up, and I can feel confident that I can go out there and give it another 18, 20, 21 week run, I think I'd do it in a heartbeat." So his heart's there. It's not that he doesn't have a desire. He wants to make sure that his body can do it. He says, "I think right now it's just finding that answer to see how my body can feel after this game and when it all settles down." So he's got to let the Chiefs know, because obviously they're in a postseason situation where they're trying to put their team together for next year as well. And Mahomes, I mean, we don't know if Mahomes is going to be back for the start of the season either after the knee injury and the surgery that he had. So we'll see. First time that the Chiefs aren't in the playoffs since 2014. Regardless, I mean, if Kelsey retires or not, he's going to go down as one of the best tight ends in NFL history. He's got the numbers to back it. He's got the Super Bowls. We know that as well. Good to be with a great head coach and a great quarterback. And who knows? I'll bring it up. I haven't said the name, Taylor Swift. There's a wedding on the horizon. We'll see. Who knows? He could, I don't know, be in Hollywood or something else. But he certainly had an amazing career. That's for sure. So we certainly wish Travis Kelce the best from that standpoint when it comes to football. Speaking of football, we got some football tonight as well. You guys excited for the college football playoff at all? It's a Thursday night. That's interesting. For us sports fans out there, I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it when we get to see that, and that it's not that you don't have two teams on the back-to-back night. So NFL is this weekend. You've got college football tonight, college football tomorrow night. Ole Miss and Miami tonight. Yeah, and I think back, oh, Miami doesn't belong in the playoff. Yeah, now they've got a shot to go to the national championship. So the right teams were in. Alabama, yeah, they didn't look good against Indiana, but guess what? They won their first game in the playoff. They should have been there. They earned it. They beat the teams to do it. So now you have these college football teams playing tonight. It starts at 6:30. So it's an earlier start time for the game. From Arizona, you've got Ole Miss, who's the 6th ranked team coming in. Miami was 10, and Miami is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. So Miami won, and they looked pretty good last week. Ole Miss beat Georgia. So they won, they beat the better team. So let's see. Ole Miss is 13-1. Miami's 12-2. Chambliss, the quarterback for Ole Miss, is playing top-notch right now. And the winner goes to play for the national championship. I mean, that's a big, big deal. Just a big, big deal at what we're starting to see. It's so much fun to see what we got right now. And then, of course, that's the game tonight. And then we get more action as we like to look at all the bowl games and things that are happening with the playoff. Tomorrow night at 6:30 as well, from Georgia, you've got Oregon at Indiana. They're playing inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, and that will be an interesting game. A rematch of earlier in the season when Indiana beat Oregon. Indiana, 14-0, ranked number 1. Oregon, 5th ranked, 13-1. And go figure, the line for that game, did you see what it is? It's 3.5 points. It's 3.5 points, the same as the other game, which is being played tonight. So we get that from a football standpoint in back-to-back nights. Got to love that from a sports standpoint. A couple of great quarterbacks, Mendoza for Indiana, Moore for Oregon, talking about maybe the top two ranked quarterbacks, the top two that will be taken in the NFL draft coming up in the spring, going head to head with the coaching staffs that they have. That should be very, very interesting as well. Looking forward to watching what we get from that standpoint. By the way, the portal is still going on, and some interesting pickups. Missouri, by the way, is picking up. They're picking up guys, but they're not picking up big name guys. I'm just being honest, and I'm not trying to be. It doesn't seem as if Missouri's getting the names from the portal that they've gotten in the past. I mean, they got another wide receiver from Auburn. It's like all of a sudden Missouri's picking up all these Auburn players. They got a Mississippi State offensive lineman yesterday. He transferred, but I couldn't even find him ranked. Horatio Fields, I couldn't really find him ranked as a receiver. The Mississippi lineman, Luke Work, ranked. So Missouri did get a transfer safety, Kinsley Ludor Faustin. He committed. He looks like he's got some experience at Auburn that could help the defense. But right now, I don't see a lot of these big name guys being picked up by Missouri. Even the linebacker, Robert Woodyard Jr., who had a pretty good year for Auburn, but even he late in the year was replaced by a younger player. Now, part of that had to do with the coaching, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've trusted Drinkwitz. They're going to have to find something on defense because you're literally returning three guys that had experience playing, only one true starter in Banner, a safety, off a defense that I said was the best defense I'd ever seen at the University of Missouri. So there's a lot of work that's going to have to be done with Missouri as they try to put together a new team. Clearly, with what they have, their quarterback, the running backs, the team that they have right now, looks like let's have long drives. Let's run the football and keep the ball away from the other team so our defense doesn't have to stay on the field. We will see. But they do have some bigger name linemen coming in this weekend for some visits. We'll see how that all shakes out and what they've got. So anyway, that's what we've got going on right now from that standpoint. This is Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. I'm Vic Faust, producer Rye alongside as well. Appreciate you guys being with us Monday through Friday. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us after the show Monday through Friday as well. We are grateful for that. The Co-Found Hers show is on Thursdays from 10 to 11 o'clock. And then it's Charlie Tooted the Posse. They round out our AM coverage they're on from 11 to 1 today as well. So if you guys want to jump in, you can do so on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. Coming up at 7:30 today, we're going to be talking with Colin Ledbetter, former police officer in St. Louis, was shot in the line of duty back in 2022. He survived. He wasn't able to be in law enforcement anymore, but he has now put together a podcast called Built Different, and it focuses on first responders and what they do in their jobs, the men and women, and what they do in a place for people to talk. So we'll be promoting his podcast coming up at 7:30. If you guys have ideas for people, we'd love to promote the St. Louis area, the St. Louis businesses, and so forth. That's what we do here. We're here for you. Keep us posted. And of course, we'll do everything that we can from that standpoint. 6:55. It is January 8th. We talked about it a little bit earlier. The weather is supposed to be pretty nice again today. Warm. Can't complain about that. Just a year ago, we were dealing with freezing cold temperatures, ice, a little bit of snow. This year, it's windy, warm weather. Go figure. So we'll see how all of that goes when it comes back, when we come back. But the weather today is supposed to be in the mid 60s again, maybe get some thunderstorms tonight. maybe a storm or two somewhere throughout the metropolitan area, and then maybe some wind gusts and some small hail. But tomorrow it's supposed to push the temperatures back into the 50s, and we'll go back on more of a downward trend because obviously the weather that we have been experiencing has been absolutely gorgeous. And of course, all good things must come to an end at some point in time. So we'll do our best there. Yeah. We've also got coming up, we'll talk about and maybe show you a light in the sky and a boom. And people saw it in the St. Louis area. Got an update on, we'd like to pass along the specials, the rye deals, one from McDonald's that we'll certainly pass along to you. Plus, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships getting set and the economic impact that it's going to have on the St. Louis area. We're starting to see that a little bit more now too. So lots going on from that standpoint. We appreciate you guys being with us. Producer Rise alongside. I'm Vic Faust. Facebook, X, and YouTube is where you can watch us at Arch City Now. Feel free to jump in the show at any time. Give us an update on what's happening in the area. We talk all things St. Louis, getting you up and at it each day, of course, throughout the St. Louis area. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get you caught back up. Mizzou slew in action last night, looking very good. The Blues, not so much the case. Plus the other stories that we were talking about and anything else that's happening right now. This is Arch City Now. We are your Lou information station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. Hey guys, welcome back into the show, Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. It is Thursday, January 8th. So glad you guys are with us. 7:05 is the time. We are here, producer Rye. I'm Vic Faust. All things St. Louis all the time, plus others national stories, making news. Anything else that floats your boat, moves the needle for you, jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube. We're taking you here till about 8 o'clock. We got Colin Ledbetter, former St. Louis police officer, joining us. He's got a new podcast called Built Different. He'll be joining us at 7:30 to talk about first responders. Really shines a light on first responders, not only what they go through, their families, anything and everything from that standpoint. Colin was shot in line of duty in 2022. It ended his police life, but fortunately did not lend his life. And now he has moved on to other things. So we wanted to promote that. Appreciate the opportunity for Colin coming in the studio. Also, if you guys want to jump in, you can do so on X, Facebook, and YouTube. If there's interviews you want to hear about, stories, shout out your town, shout out charities, restaurants, music, whatever, let us know. That's what we're here for, promoting St. Louis all the time. Also, from that standpoint, we had a ton of sports going on last night, a ton, and we'll get to that. But a couple news stories, first of all. The U.S. Figure Skating Championships, which are in town right now, a huge opportunity for St. Louis to showcase itself. So grateful that we have the opportunity to have it in St. Louis because we need it. We definitely need it. So right now, what we're looking at is you're looking at, I don't know, organizers say somewhere between 50 and 60,000 people, travelers to the St. Louis area this week. With a projected income of 20 million. I saw totals that I talked about yesterday being 10. They're talking about the economic impact being 20 million right now. So that's huge. St. Louis Sports Commission, Mark Schreiber, their president, doing a fantastic job. I've heard nothing but great things about his vision, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to push forward here. Those are very, very good things for our city. Hotels and restaurants expected to feel the biggest boost. So that's good. Thankfully, the weather hasn't been too bad at all. So it's a good thing. We need to get that perception of St. Louis up. It's an opportunity for us to do so as well. And then, of course, you can watch. If you're not going, there are tickets available. I had some friends. They're at the events yesterday. But they're going today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then they announced the team Sunday. But the action can be seen again on USA Network again tonight, tomorrow, and then it switches over to NBC for the weekend coverage. But St. Louis getting put front and center. And as if you've been watching us or listening, you know that right now you're talking about a team that has 3 out of 4 world champions on it. 4 disciplines. The United States are the world champs in 3 of the 4. So that means they're the favorite in those 3 events going into the Olympics. So it'll be interesting. We'll see where that all goes and what happens. Also, when it comes to St. Louis, did you see it? Did you see a string of lights over St. Louis last night? The video's all over the local news website. We'd play it for you right now, but we have some technical issues with running video. But it was a string of lights over the sky last night. And, viewers from the area were sharing pictures and videos on the local news channels 2, 4, 5 from all over the St. Louis metropolitan area. So, you'll have Starlink satellites that appear in the sky. You'll have things that, the UFOs and unidentified flying objects and UFAs, everything, but not quite sure what it was or what it is. Was it Starlink? Was it other satellites? Regardless, it was a little bit wild, a little bit different. So if anybody saw anything, if you thought what it was, feel free to jump in. I don't quite know what to make of it, but it was there. Not the Northern Lights. No, somebody said it wasn't the Northern Lights. They were just lights that were, you see it flying all around last night. So especially when, there's, we're not used to seeing a ton of lights in the skies over St. Louis. And then all of a sudden you start to see some objects that are flying around. And of course, who knows anymore? It's the year 2026. That's right. It's 2026. And I guess you just never really know what you're going to get or what you're going to see in the St. Louis area. But hey, it's there. So anyway, it was there last night. We were told it was nothing to be concerned about. No explosions, although there were some explosions reported. There was an explosion in the sky that was reported recently. I did see that in the Missouri area. I don't know if you guys had heard about that. I don't think it was in the St. Louis area, but I did see some sort of an explosion that had gone down. So anyway, it is what it is from that standpoint. Last night, what a win for Missouri basketball. They won at Kentucky's Rupp Arena for the first time ever. Missouri going into the game last night was a 13.5-point underdog. I don't know who set the line for that. My friends who gamble on games a bet, they're like, wait a second. How could Missouri be a 13.5-point underdog? I guess Vegas knows something. No, they didn't. It shows you that even Vegas screws up. They had the line all wrong. I think they're still judging on Missouri getting absolutely drubbed by Illinois by 43 points in the bragging rights game about 3 weeks ago. Different Missouri basketball team. So it could be a fun year for Missouri fans. Could be. They won 73-68 last night. Getting Jaden Stone back has been big. My Mizzou co-host partner on the MIZ STL show, Grant Salzman, had been telling me, we got to get Jaden Stone back. Get Jaden Stone. My son, got to get Stone back. Well, he's looked good. Pierce has come back, been all right too. But in 2 games in the SEC, you play Florida, who's very good. They're a ranked team. You upset Florida at home on Saturday. And then you beat Kentucky on the road, who, by the way, has a $20 million roster. I don't know. I don't think they're coached that well. I'm surprised they haven't fired their head coach yet. They have good talent, but they're not playing well. They're only 9-6, but Missouri beat them. They did what they had to do. And it doesn't mean that Kentucky's not a good team. They have good players. They do. So Missouri now, all of a sudden, after losing to Notre Dame, losing to Kansas, losing to Illinois, giving us no hope of a postseason run, the Missouri Tigers are 12-3, 2-0 in the SEC, and they're going to Ole Miss on Saturday where they will be favored. I think they're going to be favored now. And you're talking about a team that has an opportunity, they haven't done it yet, to go 13-3 and be 3-0 in the SEC. That would be a team that's borderline top 25, and that would be a team that's back in to the tournament field conversation. And who knows what the rest of the season would be. Last year, the SEC was the best basketball conference in America during the season. This year, they're not. They're not even close to as good as they were last year. You're talking about a team, 2 teams, the 2 best teams played last night. Vanderbilt, who was ranked 11th, and Alabama, who's ranked 13th. That's it. Those are your 2 highest ranked teams, 11 and 13. So there's a lot still left to be desired when it comes to the SEC. Why do I say that? Well, because now you look at Missouri and their schedule. After what we've seen to start the year with 2 games, maybe they could make a little run. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, up, down, all around from where they were just after the Illinois game a few weeks ago. But from what they've shown us now in 2 games against those 2 teams, one of them on the road, I don't know. Looks pretty darn good to me. Vanderbilt, I mean, here's what you got. Actually, I was wrong. Texas is ranked 2nd, America. So you got Texas is ranked 2nd, Vanderbilt 7th. Let's see. Oh, no, that was, forgive me. Guys, I went to the wrong. They're not 2. What am I talking about? Give me a break. Come on, Faust. You got to be better about that. I clicked on the wrong bracket from that standing. No, so what you've got from that standpoint is Alabama last night Vanderbilt. That was a good game. Vanderbilt beat Alabama. Vanderbilt's 15-0. Alabama's now 11-4. So you could make a run. The whole point was Missouri getting a chance to make a run, and they looked really, really good. And feel good about it, Missouri fans. That team is now rocking. And and the fun conversation now is, I was convinced SLU was better than Mizzou. I'm not so sure now. Not so sure. I wish SLU played good competition, or at least better competition, because SLU is doing everything that they possibly can right now. And last night, they looked darn good again. Going on the road, conference opponent, VCU always has a good, strong team, and they took it to VCU. Final score was 71-62. Kellen Thames, love watching the kid play. 18 points off the bench, rather. So SLU now 14-1. They're 2-0 in the Atlantic 10 Conference, and they're good. They're good. That's 8 wins in a row now for the Billikens since they lost by a point to Stanford. Stanford's all right, best team that they've played. So, and SLU looked really good in the first half. At one point, they went on 11-0 run. That's what they're capable of. 30-19 lead. They've got depth. They've got a good coach. They look like a tournament team to me. And that's what I would love to see. Absolutely love to see this team make the tournament. Love to see Mizzou and SLU. Wouldn't it be fun to see them play each other? We need to have that game, by the way, during the year. And I'm a Missouri alum. I'm tired of Missouri saying, well, it doesn't do us any good. Play it. Play the game. Please play the game. Let Mizzou and SLU play. If you're a Mizzou fan and they beat you, so be it. Who cares? I mean, let's go have fun in the NCAA tournament. That's what seems like it matters anyway these days. And congrats to SLU. Love seeing them do well and have a good year. Very, very good. Hey, speaking of basketball, and I know we were talking college basketball, but a shout out to Principia. Principia is rolling. Their high school basketball program, and I'm sure you've heard, and if you haven't, but Little Principia in St. Louis is now ranked by Max Preps as the second best team in America. They're ranked number 2 in America. Now, I know when you rank high school basketball and high school football, national polls are kind of difficult. It's like, how do you really tell? I get it. I totally get it. But when in basketball, it's easier because you go to these showcase tournaments, and some of the best teams in America go to these tournaments and they play each other. And that's kind of how you find out. Well, Principia just knocked off the number 1 team in America, Wheeler. So they moved up to number 2, and they're rolling. I mean, they 31-1 last year, won a state title. They look like they're better this year. I mean, I don't know how, but they are. They're rolling. So Principia, congratulations to them. Got to give them their shout out, give them their due, because they have looked darn good to start this season. And we'd love to see it. It's a St. Louis area school. By the way, if people didn't know, if you remember Matty Mock, quarterback for Mizzou, he was good. He was good. He helped them with a big SEC run. He was a football coach over at Principia as well. If you guys hadn't seen some of that, had come down yet. So it's interesting now how that school is making some strides, investing, putting some money in to where they are. So very, very, very cool. He is now the head football coach at Principia. And I wouldn't be shocked if now football to turn around and get really, really good is a whole lot more difficult than basketball. A lot more positions. You got to have the guys. You got to have the size. Principia has been able to bring guys in and do a phenomenal job from a basketball standpoint. We'll see what they're able to do from a football standpoint. So congrats from that standpoint when it comes to the action that we saw last night. Also, what we have going on tonight, college football, the football playoff gets underway. The Final Four, Miami and Ole Miss. Who do you guys got? 3.5-point favorites are the Hurricanes. That's right. Miami is a 3.5-point favorite over Ole Miss, despite Miami barely getting into the football playoff. Oh, it's not right. They shouldn't be in. Where's Notre Dame? Well, they proved they should be in. and they've continued to prove it. They've won 2 games. They came in as the 10th seed, and now they've got Ole Miss tonight. Ole Miss is rolling with their quarterback, Chambliss. Will the luck continue? I don't know. I mean, what a toss-up from that game. Miami has a really good defense. Their lines are really, really good. Gosh, they got good offensive and defensive lines. And I always say that's where you win the games. If I had to pick, I'd probably take Miami tonight. I would. I don't feel great about it, but I'll take Miami just because I think their lines are better. I do. Offensive and defensive lines, specifically their defensive lines. The other semifinal will be played tomorrow night. Number 1, Indiana. Number 5, Oregon. And guess what? In that game, it's also a 3.5-point spread. Indiana, the number 1 team in America. Indiana, 3.5-point favorites. And I like Indiana. I do, but who knows? We'll see how it goes. Both games start at 6:30, one tonight, one tomorrow. Boy, and if you're Indiana, how good you got to feel too. Not only do you have who appears to be the best college football coach since Nick Saban, and go figure, he was in Nick Saban's coaching tree, that, of course, being Curt Cignetti. Not only do you have a 2-year run, and who knows, they may go win a national title this year. One of your richest alumni, probably your richest, your billionaire, Mark Cuban, is now jumping into the NIL game. That's not what opponents of Indiana want to hear. So Mark Cuban, I didn't see any totals. If anybody else saw any totals that he is donating or giving, I would love to hear it. They probably kept it quiet on purpose, but Mark Cuban is now into the NIL game. And one of the main quotes that he had was, let's just say this year's transfer portal class is a whole lot happier than last year's. And they're bringing in the top-notch guys. I mean, every bit as good, if not more, than what Texas Tech has been doing. And if people haven't been awake, Texas Tech in their West Texas oil money, which have been buying up players, spending more, literally went from nothing to something in a matter of 2 years. And now you have Indiana with the coach, the prestige, and everything else that they have there, now getting the top transfers to come to Indiana. So if anybody thinks Indiana, whether they win tonight or win the national championship or not, is going anywhere, no, they're not going anywhere. The players that they have coming in next year are top notch. They got another outstanding quarterback coming in. If you're a Hoosier fan these days, if you're a Hoosier alum, enjoy it. Be humble, because this is going to be a fun ride. It already has been amazing, but it doesn't look like there's any sight of Indiana slowing down, not with the portal class that they have coming in. So good for Indiana. That's what's happening from that standpoint. Okay. How about the bad news? The bad news is the Blues. They were on TNT last night, national television, and they get slammed, bounced hard by the Blackhawks. Final score was 7-3. It was 5-2 after 2 periods. They gave up 4 second period goals. They were 0 for 5 on their power play, 0 production. And then they gave up 3 out of 4 goals on their penalty kill. Those things don't add up. It's not going to add up. And it was the first game of a 3-game road trip, a chance for the Blues to get back to 500 for the first time, I don't know, since what, the first 2 weeks of the season? The 7 games in, maybe. But instead they lose. Final score last night, 7-3. And you're like, what? And if that wasn't bad enough, after Jordan Bennington, he got the start last night. After Bennington gave up the 7th goal, I don't know, with about, 5 minutes left in the game or so, his head coach, Jim Montgomery, tried to get him to come off the ice, literally motioning. Come on off. And Bennington wouldn't come. I'm sure if you didn't stay up late to see it, that's what happened. Bennington refused. It's like, nope. Stood right there in net. And it's like, uh-oh. And then the video of Montgomery looking around like, what the hell's going on? And then he's looking for Hofer, and Hofer, who he was going to put in for the final 5 minutes, isn't standing next to him. Hofer looks like he's ready. He's got his mask on, all warm, but he's sitting down in the tunnel. He's not sitting at the edge of the bench. That's an issue. It's a problem. It's drama. It's something that doesn't need to happen. And you can debate, is it smart of Montgomery to do it? Does it really matter with 5 minutes left in a game? Is it going to embarrass Bennington more by pulling him off the ice or leaving him in? He decides to pull him. But then Bennington's like, nope, I'm staying right here. And you've got literally Montgomery sitting there back and forth going, what? What the hell is going on? So now not only do you lose 7-3, you lose to a division rival. You're 17, 19, and 8. You have 2 more road games on this trip, and they're not easy games. Tomorrow night in Utah, Saturday night in Vegas. And now you got some drama controversy with your goalie. Now, Montgomery's smart. He's been around. He's had success. He has to know the vibe of his players, right? Or does he? Was it disrespectful of Bennington to do what he did? When you have a head coach who is the head coach, the man that's in charge of making decisions, whether you like him or not. See if it's a two-way street. Should he have done it to Bennington? Or if he was justified in doing it, should Bennington have said no? And then Hofer sitting down the hall. I mean, I'm like, come on, Blues, get it together, man. You're 17, 19, and 8. I guess the only positive here is the Blues, along with like 7 other teams, are within 4 points of, the final playoff spot. But even then, what have the Blues shown us that gets us excited to make us think that they're actually going to be able to do something positive? What's their strength? What can they rely on? And now does attention go towards Montgomery as coach? Should he be questioned about what's going on? And I know I said it before the season. I wasn't 100% sold on the Blues. I wasn't. I didn't understand all the hype. I asked some people who know more than me. I wasn't sold on it. I just didn't see it. And now we're starting to see it come to fruition where this team, do miracles happen? Yeah, we've seen them happen. Is there anything with this team that makes you think that they're all of a sudden going to go on a run and play great defense and have unity in the goalie position and be scoring goals right and left? No, not me. I don't see it. I don't. I wish I could see it, but I don't right now. And that's what you have with our Blues. And I guess even worse on the point was after the game, I mean, they were talking about it on the TNT broadcast. Like ESPN has their ESPN game day broadcast. Well, TNT does a really good job with their hockey and their 4 guys that talk. And they were breaking it down. And it's like, oh my gosh. So then it becomes an even bigger story. And don't think for a second that it doesn't become an issue for the other players. They have their relationships with the goalies as well. They'll say, oh, it's no big deal. Yeah, we'll go out, we'll play. Benny's going to be fine. Hofer's going to be fine. But come on, it's another issue. And it's been a very, very ugly season. 17, 19, and 8. They haven't won a ton at home. And now you've got goalie issues on top of it all. Stay tuned. I guarantee Hofer will be in net tomorrow night. That's a fact. And then we'll see if anything else comes out of it. Of course, their hockey teams, oh, it's all fine. Everything's good. Nothing to be seen here. But Bennington hasn't been the same this year. And then they started talking about possibly trading him. And that news came out. I was like, I don't like this. I don't think this is going to work well with Bennington. I don't know how this ends. I don't see this ending in a positive way for Montgomery, Hofer, and Bennington all on the same team this year. I just don't. I don't see how it happens. Hopefully I'm wrong. Anyway, we'll take a quick break. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. I'm Vic Faust. This is Arch City Now. Producer Rise alongside. We come back. We'll talk with Colin Ledbetter. He's got a new podcast called Built Different, focusing on first responders after he went through a tragic event in his own life. Thankfully, his life was spared in the line of duty. We'll talk with him and more about what his podcast is about and what first responders deal with every single day when we come back. We are your Lou information station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com at 7:30 on this Thursday, January 8th. We'll be right back right after this. everything else. But also promoting things that are just good throughout the St. Louis area. Part of that is this guy right here, Colin Ledbetter, former St. Louis police officer, shot in the line of duty, 2022. His life was spared, but he couldn't be a police officer anymore. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But now he has a podcast called Built Different. It's been around for a while, focusing on first responders. Colin, hey, it's nice to meet you, man. Thanks for jumping in today with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so take us back real quick. 2022, you're in the line of duty. If people remember, they'll remember what happened to you. Your life was spared, but nothing easy about what happened.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of take you through the day. So it was actually my partner and I, Nathan Spees, who is also a well-known member. He was actually hit on the interstate earlier this year and lost his right leg, I believe now. But we were riding together. I had just gotten done with an interview downtown and interviewing for the drug unit. And we were informed that there was a vehicle wanted for homicide from the night before. And we responded up to the area that it was in. We located the vehicle, pursued the vehicle. The vehicle wrecked out somewhere in Ferguson, and we chased 4 people on foot. The passenger, I think it was the passenger ended up shooting my partner, Nate. I came back to help him. After I actually ran into him and was shot in my left leg, or in my abdomen, which traveled to my left leg, severed my femoral artery, and I bled out there on scene. Just so happened that there was an ambulance around the corner. They were able to pick me up, get me to the hospital. A lot of miracles happened after that. There happened to be a vascular surgeon working upstairs, came down, was able to repair everything while they were working on me, getting my heart started and beating right again and adding blood. And I took like 38, 39 units of blood.
Well, 3 times the normal use of a normal human.
Yep.
And for people who don't, I mean, if you didn't have a vascular surgeon there, I know you don't like to do the what ifs, but in a side job, I work with vascular surgeons and cardiologists. That was a miracle in itself that a vascular surgeon was there, because if there's not a vascular surgeon there to do the work that needs to be done, I'm not so sure the artery is fixed as it should be.
No,
in time.
No, I 100% believe that I would have lost my leg. Definitely, they would have probably taken my leg if they could have gotten the blood. The bleeding stopped down there. They would have just taken my leg probably and called it a day and got me going back. But it just so happened that he was upstairs and was able to come down. And and that's just a testament to
what hospital was that?
Barnes. And it's just a testament to, the medical that we have here in St. Louis. It's just amazing.
So you survived, you come out of that, but you couldn't be a police officer anymore.
No, I think in 24, I think was kind of my last, that was my last month with the department. I think in January, I think it took me two-ish years to get medically retired and everything. So I ended there and kind of started that what if, like, what am I going to do? I was 27, I think at the time, or something like that. And that's kind of a big deal because I had my life planned out. I was in the Army National Guard. So by the time I would have been done with everything, I would have been 42. I could have retired from the department and the Guard at 42 years old and been all right. I had my whole life planned out, but, I had to kind of restart and figure out what I was going to do. I worked at a car dealership for a little bit. And now I've kind of taken on this podcast kind of full time. I do a little part-time dispatching in my hometown, but for the most part, I'm running around with the podcast, doing other things, stuff like that.
Let everybody know we're talking with Colin Ledbetter, who started up the podcast, Built Different. Let everybody know what the podcast is about and just why you did it, the idea behind it.
So really, I was trying to reconnect with, police officers, veterans, stuff like that. I felt a big disconnect myself. And I wanted to kind of get back into things. So that was the best way I knew how, is to bring on first responders, veterans, and have them come on and talk and share their story. It's something that I didn't get to do as a police officer or a veteran. So I feel that they get um, a lot more recognition. They feel comfortable coming on and talking whenever they get to share their story and share what they do every day.
Talking about Colin Ledbetter from that standpoint, how often are you doing shows?
Once a week now. I shoot on Tuesdays in Fenton with a company called True Line Media.
So difficult to book guests.
Yes. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth.
Why is that? Do people just have an issue wanting to talk about things?
I think so. There's a just with the standpoint of modern day policing or even veterans, they're scared to come on and share their story. I think partially because they're scared of repercussions, but also I think it's just you're talking to a more proud group. They don't want to, you know, boast themselves, I guess.
When you talk about first responders, what lines of work are we talking about that you get an opportunity to bring out there? And I only ask for people who may be watching or go, oh, you know what? Maybe I thought he was just trying to focus on that, but that could be me as well.
Yeah, so I've had anyone from a police officer to a dispatcher on. Firefighters, I just got done with a big show where I had a whole company of firefighters on. So I had them on, and I've had a few telecommunicators on. I've had police officers on. I've had Marine veterans on. So just a lot of different people.
What kind of topics do you hit?
Really, I kind of had them walk through how they got to the career field that they were in, and then we kind of talk about their day to day, what their day to day looks like.
Do you ever find out things that you didn't know, maybe from being an officer yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's whenever I interview officers, it's always fun to see the different viewpoints of a policing aspect. Some guys do it differently, and it's just kind of neat to see that come into full effect of how different guys do the job.
Colin, what when you put this together, what is or what has been a hope of yours for non-first responders to see, feel, or maybe understand?
Yeah, and that's kind of the main goal of the podcast now, is to see the real side of the people that I'm having come on, kind of show them what it actually looks like. There's always that, that TV show of what police do, but there's a reality to it. There's an everyday feeling of it, and I want to show that to the public.
Do you get responses from the public?
Absolutely.
And if so you do.
Mhm.
What kind of responses are you getting?
There's a lot of shock and awe. I get people, they're like, I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Like for what? What do you?
Certain circumstances. I don't think people realize how long investigations take, how long certain scenes will take. We've talked about being on a homicide scene. Some people don't realize, like, you could stand on a homicide scene for your whole 8-hour shift, just holding the scene, stuff like that. So there's a lot of waiting, but there's also a lot of quick, fast acting stuff that goes on as well.
Do you find that when you're talking to certain people, and not that your mission is to be negative, but when you talk about truth, sometimes it may not show positive for groups of people or certain situations? Do you encounter that?
A little bit. There's always differences between that, but I see a lot more of the positivity that I get from it, but there's differences, I guess.
I'm curious because it's one of those things when you go through and you're a first responder, it's already a demanding job. Yeah. As it is. And then on top of it, you're like, you may have to deal with this, you have to deal with that. And I'm sure you see those things that come through, and people may find ways or talk about ways that the job could be better, or how we need more finances for certain things from that standpoint, where we have to get serious when it comes to those sorts of things.
Yeah. I think with any job, there's ways to improve it and stuff. I think right now, my main mission right now is kind of bringing in the mental health aspect. There was always a extreme disconnect whenever I worked at the department, that there was, mental health was bad, especially for police officers and first responders in general. So since I've started my podcast, I've actually become a big advocate for it. I've had several mental health people come on the show, talk about it, I have a lot of first responders that watch, so I bring them on to kind of give them the tools. And since I've started, I've actually had 6 or 7 guys reach out to me that I've helped connect them with certain therapy groups and stuff like that. So,
What about you from a mental health standpoint? Because you were shot. I mean, you talk about PTSD, you talk about mental health. Your life almost came to an end on a certain day in 2022. How often do you think about that?
At first it was a journey.
I mean, you've got scars.
I do. It was a journey. So I actually lost a lot of memory, which in itself was it was almost more traumatic. I feel like I didn't know what happened. So everything that I know of the situation is all third party.
Did you even know when you got shot? I know it may sound like a silly question because of adrenaline rushing.
Yeah. So I actually don't remember any of it.
Okay.
I lost memory pretty much back to right now. I have memory back to like Christmas. So I was shot in January 26th. So I have memory back to that Christmas. I have like memories of family Christmas and stuff
Of 22,
like
you mean
of 21. So
Yeah.
I shot in January 26th, 22, and I have memory back to Christmas in 21. So about a month, and so I don't really remember too much. I don't remember anything. I do certain therapies and stuff to try to like process through it, and I have had nightmares, of it, but I don't really have a whole lot of memory of it. I can't just sit here and be like, yeah, I remember getting shot in that.
No, that's so bizarre to think about that. Yet you were shot, yet you still were trying to help somebody once you were shot.
Yep. So it's a whole different thing, to process, and it's hard. I have a lot of memory of the hospital, but of that moment, I don't have too much memory of. So,
how do you handle when you hear of officer being shot or officer down on scenes, things of that nature, when you see those news reports or things happen, even though you're not an officer anymore?
It's hard. I start thinking of people that I might know to talk to, or, people that I can get a hold of to help facilitate if I need to, maybe bring up some mental health aspects, stuff like that. So it's hard though, you just want to be there for everyone. And I know that's not always possible. But you just want to, I want to be there with them, but I can't be there. So
do you miss being a police officer?
100%. I would give it back. I'd go back today.
Really?
Yep. I love the job. I love the, you really, I feel like every day I went home, I felt like I did something with a purpose. No matter if it was, helping someone on the street, find their way home or something like that. It was a very wholesome job.
So when you think about that, what was it exactly that limited you from doing that with your condition or your leg and or the injury that you suffered when the bullet entered your body?
The majority of my issues now are like reaction time and stuff like that. That's kind of the whole.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is, and that was kind of my main downfall really. My main goal was to get back at first. I was trying really hard in physical therapy and stuff like that. And then they sent me to a neurologist, and I did a bunch of tests and stuff like that. And he finally was just like, hey, it's probably not going to work out for you. So,
yeah, but you did everything you possibly could from that standpoint.
Yeah.
When you have a family when you were going through this too? And
yeah, so I have my mom, dad, my sister, they've all been great. They've been there for me. But she was my girlfriend at the time. My wife, my now wife, Montana, and she was amazing.
So she went through it.
Yeah, so I actually was in the Guard right before, so I actually deployed. So she went through a whole deployment with me. Then I got back and I got shot. So she's been through the ringer with me, and she's kind of done with the.
Well, I guess so.
Yeah, first responder life. So she's very happy that I'm out of it. But yeah,
I could only imagine. I know that you're sad from that standpoint. Yeah. Okay, so Built Different is the podcast. How can people find out about it? Or where do they watch and so forth?
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube, Spotify, anything like that. You can go to Built Different STL. That'll take you right to the podcast on YouTube. But yeah, anywhere you can watch a podcast, you can see it. I believe it's on Apple and stuff like that as well.
So what else are you up to then besides the podcast?
So I'm doing a bunch of different things. I got a bunch of different stuff going on, but right now working a couple different. I'm trying to become post certified in Missouri to teach like law enforcement classes and stuff like
Okay.
that. And I'm working with a couple different groups to go to classes and talk about mental health and stuff like that as well. So I've just got a bunch of different irons in the fire right now, trying to make it work out.
The mental health aspect of it was starting to be talked about in the last 3 years, and it's so important. I have some friends in DEA, and they talk the same things that you do from a mental health standpoint, from a PTSD standpoint, and things that most of us take for granted in just normal daily life that other people can't take for granted, that you deal with, and things that you wish you could leave on the job.
Absolutely.
But you can't really leave on the job, you take with you.
Absolutely. I find, when I first started therapy, I was trying so hard to talk about my shooting and stuff like that. And I found myself talking about other incidents that happened on the job before I even got shot. And I started to realize that stuff was also bothering me more so than the shooting even. And it just made me realize how much more we need to start talking about those as first responders and dealing with that kind of stuff.
How can people get in contact with you if they, had an idea, maybe wanted to be on your show, advertise, whatever you name it? Just questions from that standpoint.
Absolutely. So I'm on Instagram. It's Colin A25. You can message me there.
What was that again on Instagram?
Colin A25.
Okay.
And then my name's Colin Ledbetter on Facebook. So you can message me there. Anywhere, any of those social media sites you can find me at. So message me there, and I pretty much look at those 24/7. I have someone helping me out with that stuff as well.
Do you notice that you're getting an audience that's maybe national as well?
A little bit, yeah. So I'm a big advocate for blood donations now as well too. So we just had a blood drive on January 6th, and I had made a big post about it saying, hey, tag me and stuff. And I had guys from Massachusetts, Mississippi and stuff like that tagging me on Facebook and stuff that they were donating. So
that's gotta make you feel pretty good.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. It makes me feel like I'm making a difference.
I haven't asked you, are you a father yet or anything?
Nope, not a father.
Okay.
Nope. Yep. At some point, but not right now.
Because I could totally see you being a dad.
Yeah.
From that standpoint as well. Hey, is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you'd like to promote, and maybe just hit again for our audience?
Nothing that we haven't talked about, but definitely the mental health aspect. It's definitely my big driving force right now. I'm just wanting to bring that to the general public's attention. The drive for mental health, I feel like is going, but it's not there yet. We need to keep
it. Just seems like it started in the last couple of years anywhere, where it started to become more mainstream.
Yes. And it's definitely becoming more talked about. And I think we can still improve on it. So.
Well, it's Colin Ledbetter, former St. Louis police officer, shot in line of duty in 2022. I appreciate you sharing your story. It's interesting when you actually hear the details.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least what you were told and what you can remember and what you're doing now. The podcast is called Built Different. He told you it's all over the place, including YouTube, how to get in contact with them. If you guys are interested, contact him, get involved. We appreciate you taking some time and jumping in with us today as well. And God bless you, man. More power to you and your wife and everything else that's going on with the show Built Different, produced by True Line Media. So congrats with all the success, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
And thanks for joining us again today, guys, as we take you to the end of our show. Arch City Now, again, here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. And, of course, Hot Take Central 2.0 with the former Blue Cam Jansen and Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes coming up next. Obviously, congrats again to Mizzou basketball, SLU basketball last night. The Blues, very bad, unfortunately. We'll see if there's any fallout from Jordan Bennington refusing to come out of the game after coach tried to pull him after giving up 7 goals. We'll see. College football tonight. Ole Miss Miami should be an interesting game as well. That does it for us. For producer Rye, I'm Vic Faust. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. As always, stay positive. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m.